Hello, everyone, and welcome to X-Marks the Spot with me, your host, Richter Hammer, going over the week in wrestling. Joining as per usual is Mr. James Phoenix.
Hello.
Chriz, a.k.a. the Mole.
Actually, in honor of what happened this week on Raw, I'm going by a superhero alias. I am going to be called the Dastardly Digger.
Okay. The Dastardly Digger. And Marcus Shadow.
The Shadow knows.
I love the idea of that as well, just the way you said that, the Dastardly Digger and Marcus Shadow. That's going to be our new, that's going to be the thing, superhero sidekick. Yeah, we got this, Marcus. You're my Robin.
All right, as per usual, we go through our awards for the week, up to 5, and then our match and promo of the week if we have them.
Absolutely.
So with the first award, take it away, Mole.
Only one goal, survive. And that is Stephen Mill jumping the railing. And obviously attacking during the match.
I also have that as an award. I called it Hero of the Emerald City.
I named it that just because of the speech of, "My name is Oliver Queen. For 5 years I was stranded on an island with only one goal, survive."
Mm-hmm.
Reference.
I also had that as an award, but I couldn't come up with a pithy title for it. So
You have failed this podcast.
I have failed this podcast. I'm sorry.
But yeah, that was pretty cool. He jumped the barricade, and when he jumped over the top rope, that looked fucking awesome.
He hopped the barricade, jumped up onto the ring apron, and in one smooth motion, from there, basically vaulted over the top rope and just basically lunged at Stardust, basically spearing him to the ground, just beat the crap out of him. It was awesome.
He speared him and just started to punch him. Now, it is worth noting when he hit him, he did damage his forearm on his face. It's not hard. He has like an extra little cut on his arm where his forearm smacked into his head, which may have been a little too hard. But it was funnier when he tweets afterwards with that, when he tweets the picture of him doing that to Edge with, "Rated R Superstar, I hope you don't mind, I stole your move." When he speared him, and I'm like, nice.
Nice.
But back to Hammy.
All right, so is that everyone else's first award then?
Yes.
Okay.
Pretty much.
So for my first award, kick it off, making fun of Corey Graves, because why not? I call this the Shots Fired Award for during the Ty Dillinger match on NXT. Rich and Byron Saxton busted Corey for flip-flopping, to do what heel announcers do, which is just support the heels regardless of what happened last week. Because he didn't like Ty Dillinger at all, and then this week all of a sudden, because he's got this new heel persona, like Perfect 10 thing going on, he's like, "Oh, I love this guy," and they're just like, "What? You didn't like him last week?" He's like, "Whatever, that was that week. That was that week. This is this week," and it's like, "Oh my god!" And so then he gets busted further, and they're like, "Man, Corey changes opinions like you change socks." One of them said to the other one. And then he made fun of the opponent's hair, and then they're like, "Who are you to be making fun of somebody's hair?" I was like, "Thank you! Fucking Corey Graves has shitty hair." Enzo's looks better. But so that was my first one.
Couple of things.
Uh-huh.
Number
Corey
one.
Graves' hair is awesome. Corey Graves is a saint. There you go, Jim. I covered it for you.
Yeah,
No.
there you go.
No. Two things. Number one, if you're gonna call Corey Graves on this, you need to, if you're gonna call Corey Graves for being a hypocrite because of flip between heels and faces, that's the JBL award.
I know, right? I don't like it when he does it either.
Yeah,
But
nobody
to be
does.
fair, Jerry Lawler did that in the Attitude Era, and everyone praised him as being the greatest commentator of all time.
No, in the
I've never
With
said
Jim
that
Ross,
about
with
Jerry.
Jim Ross for doing that, both of them, like those two are iconic. They're the best commentators ever. It's like, but they both did it.
Well, one's supposed to do over heels, one's supposed to do over faces. They switch gimmicks. It kind of happened.
Yeah.
At least they did it subtly. It wasn't that abrupt. Because it sounds like the problem with NXT is that he got an abrupt change in like one shot, whereas at least in usually on the main roster they're a little more gradual about it.
Not really, because you have stuff like when people join, like for example, at the corporation, before they turned heel, on the Raw before, Jerry Lawler hates them and is cheering the corporation. And the second they join, it's like, yeah, I've always been a fan of him.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Fair enough.
no, you haven't. I always love it when commentators do that.
Mhm.
Luckily, you don't catch people on this podcast booing or cheering people based on the fact they're heels.
Exactly.
I've learned that from my role model, our hero Rusev. Thank you.
Hmm.
Right.
And number two, Richter, I'm gonna need to ask you to do a favor and not get our hopes up like that again. Because you clearly opened this up by saying we're going to talk about Corey Graves and naming the award Shots Fired. I thought Corey Graves got shot and we weren't going to have to see him anymore.
I will say I like Corey Graves, and I totally watch Culture Shock.
I like Corey Graves as well.
However, I do respect the fact Richter doesn't like him. I can respect Richter doesn't like him.
Just after seeing him here, I'm like, oh, I'm glad, after the concussion, he got to keep a job and not the other talented people. But anyway, so on to the second award. Take it away, Mole.
Okay. I named this one Eat, Sleep, Resurrect, Repeat. That's Eat, Sleep, Resurrect, Repeat. Thank you. And that is for the 22-minute documentary on Undertaker v. Brock on the WWE Network.
Nice.
Not as good as I hoped it'd be.
Mm.
I'm just going to throw that out there. It was basically what was on Raw, extended to 22 minutes. Which, it's not terrible, but I enjoyed it. But I wanted to see it more like, the Rock Cena, like I thought we'd have like you do on some of the other WWE documentaries and stuff, where you got like Undertaker with like that hoodie he wears when he's out of character talking and seeing Brock talk. You know what I mean? I thought it'd be like the Rock v Cena documentary more so than this, of just other wrestlers talking about shit that's happened and who they think's going to win. But it was still interesting. I will admit, as much as I don't think that match is going to be good, I'm actually excited for that match. I think it's going to be a good brawling match for once.
Mm-hmm. I can agree with that.
So that was my first award.
They've done a good job hyping up the match, like you said, despite the fact the match is probably going to suck shit. But it's going to be fun, and it's hyped up to the point that you kind of want to see this.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, with Undertaker matches, in recent years, I've been excited for Brock. I was a little excited and enjoyed the Bray Wyatt one. And going back before that was all the way back when it was the him v Shawn Michaels. I didn't like CM Punk, and I didn't like the Triple H ones. I was like, I don't really care. But with this one, I'm like, him v Brock, I like it, because it's like, oh my god, it's like the unstoppable force of the dead man, and like Brock Lesnar, the man who can conquer anything against each other. It's like two fucking like big, gigantic, colossal titans just meeting, and it's like, that's awesome. Sometimes you just want to see the two big guys beat each other up, I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's something savage of just seeing two big guys go, yeah, go at it. It's like, I don't like those big brawls they do when they send out the half all the locker room or half the locker room, because a lot of times it's like, but when they don't do it for a while, when they did it with Undertaker v Brock, I was like, yes, yeah, let them fight, got it.
Let them fight.
Yeah. But no, that was my first one. I don't know if anyone else here is excited for that match at SummerSlam now.
No.
I'll take that as just Marcus. Marcus. I've always liked you, Marcus. That's why I never tried to blow you up with a grenade.
Multiple times, but yes.
To be fair, I said I never tried. I successfully blew you up with a grenade multiple times. Well, there was some where I missed, but...
Mm-hmm.
And in case people are wondering, we're talking about on Lara Croft, not me just chucking fucking grenades through his house.
Sure about
Oh my god, Rick, can you do me a favour? Is there an ammunition store near you and you know his address?
There might be.
Hilarious prank! Do it while he's recording. You just go through the window and boom. But yes, back to the tower.
All right.
Power.
So, Jim, your second award.
Sure, why not? Let's see here. My second award, just because as much as I don't like him, I felt that it did deserve to just get mentioned. I called it. I called it Feed Him Again, or I guess Feeding Time Returns would also be applicable. Basically, Ryback came back during the Miz TV segment, so apparently we can actually now have an Intercontinental title defense of Samoa Joe and hopefully get the belt the fuck off him.
I also gave this an award, but slightly different. I called it Seattle's Darkest Day. Just, Stephen Amell, I'm sorry. I have to steal in here. Daniel Bryan, you have failed this city. My God, using Daniel Bryan to fucking put Ryback over like fuck, that made me cry. I was like, no, what have you done to Daniel Bryan?
Did Marcus just try and retcon it to say this is the darkest day as opposed to the Super Bowl?
He did.
Are we really going that route? Yes. I mean, sure, Ryback's a walking injury machine, but still.
Didn't he complain that it was Everett and not Seattle?
Technically, it wasn't Everett, but they kept saying Seattle, so I was like, well, okay, I'll just go with Seattle. The entire podcast are like, Seattle. And I'm like, oh, brother.
I thought your darkest day was last night when I was sitting in a restaurant and on the TV I watched the Mariners get destroyed by the Red Sox 11-1.
No, the Mariners won 10-8 today, so they got retribution.
I don't know.
I thought its darkest day was... Marcus, what was your date of birth?
No, because I knew Daniel Bryan was going to be on Miz TV. I'm like, that's going to be cool. And Miz comes out, takes a shot at Stephen Amell, fair enough, calls out Daniel Bryan. And, Daniel Bryan says, yes, and the fans are reacting because Washington State, and, Seahawks chant, cool. And I thought they were actually going to talk about certain stuff, and he started talking about, like, Daniel Bryan's book. And then Big Show interrupts. And it's like, And actually, I don't know if they planted someone to start this, but apparently in the crowd they started chanting, retire, like, we want you to retire kind of thing. And he turns around and goes, oh, you want me to retire? You want me to retire? Bring out somebody who can retire me. I dare you, bring someone out. And then Ryback's music hit, and I just facepalmed and cried into my hand. I was like, oh my God, they're using Daniel Bryan in Washington State to fucking put him over. No, fuck you, WWE.
In all fairness, they did the same damn thing, but tried to use him to put John Cena over. It's not like they don't have a history of doing this.
See, John Cena I'm okay with. Ryback, no.
Oh, come on. He's only injured. Well,
Everybody
way too many
to
count. Yeah, way too many to count. Surely he should still be employed, right?
No. I'm going to have to side with The Miz on this one. He should have been stripped of the title when he got injured and never to be seen again. I was like, this is what you pull Daniel Bryan out for in his, quote, hometown, unquote. And I'm like, no, fuck you.
Yep.
It's about time for him to put someone over instead of burying somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Rick. He'll be back in time for Royal Rumble.
Yeah. No, he's not coming back. He's done.
He's done.
So I will jump with Jim on that one.
Marcus, use your power for good.
Ryback's not famous enough. I'm sorry.
Not Ryback.
No. Who?
Bryan. Before Royal Rumble, use your power for good.
He's not going to make it to Royal Rumble.
Ooh.
Oh. Wow.
Because Marcus is going to take care of him.
So now when Royal Rumble, if he shows up and obviously the stuff happens again, we can say, Marcus, come on, you dropped the ball. It's all your fault. You shouldn't just be like, it's fine. It's fine. It'll sort itself out.
No, that's what we tell him. Marcus Shadow, you have failed this company.
I'll say, but he has a hot wife. What did you expect me to do?
Kill her and fuck him.
I think you got that reverse, Ball.
I said, while she watches.
Okay, then.
No.
Raping a corpse is always funny, Jim. Literally, a series of books named Twilight was literally about a girl's choice between necrophilia and bestiality.
That is true. That is true. And I know Triple H advocates corpse raping, so it must be okay.
Yeah.
He's our friend.
That was
If that's the case, then Bill Condon is the perfect director for Beauty and the Beast, since that's all about bestiality.
To understand what that reference is about, check out our previous video.
Indeed, the D23 one. Now on there with the Phoenix.
Now on D23 Summer of Disney special.
Fair enough. Anyway, yes, back to the tower. Unless
Indeed.
Jim has more to add about this travesty.
No, that was about it. You pretty much covered it. Basically, Ryback
There's more
showed
on
up,
it.
shit happened that shouldn't have happened, and apparently there's going to be a title match at SummerSlam, and hopefully he will not be the champion after SummerSlam.
Like I said, there is more on this later.
Okay. Back to the Ivory Tower.
All right, so Marcus, that was also your second one then? Just the reverse
Yes.
of it? Okay. For my second one, this is the Audience Chant Award during NXT for Thank You Joe after Samoa Joe choked out Baron Corbin with the Coquina Clutch. Because, man, that crowd turned on Corbin so fast.
Nice.
I remember it was like months ago, but man, it was like a light switch. And just funny. He just chokes him out, and they're like, "Thank you, Joe." And, to his credit, he sold it pretty well. He just laid down and afterwards he was just like, "Ugh."
So what you're saying is the crowd in attendance that night were all Corey Graves fans.
No. What? I'm gonna go.
I think he was referencing the fact you mentioned they flip-flopped pretty fast earlier, which was cool.
Oh.
Which when you gave the award to Corey Graves, it was
Gotcha.
bad because he flip-flopped, but these ones getting the award as good for flip-flopping.
No. I just thought it was funny that they chanted "Thank you" because they.
Yeah, it's
they
always
turned-
funny when the crowd just turn like suddenly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was months ago when they turned, but it was very sudden. It was that, I forget which match it was. One of the takeover ones. He botched a move or two, and then all of a sudden they just all hated him. It was like, okay then.
Yeah, I like when audiences randomly do that. Like, I remember a while back when the Wyatt family was first introduced and they were feuding with Cena, and they showed up and they beat the crap out of Cena and pulled him out of the, I think it was the Elimination Chamber they were in at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember they beat Cena and took him out of the match, and the crowd was like, "Thank you, Wyatt. Thank you, Wyatt."
I would make the case that's just because, based on Cena, the crowd has always got like polar beliefs with him, so anyone could have done that to Cena and they would have thanked them.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure anyone that choked out Baron Corbin would have been thanked too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That did sound cool, and I kind of want to see that match at TakeOver. It's not the match I want to see. The only match I care about at the pay-per-view is Kevin Owens v Finn Balor ladder match. That sounds cool. But that match doesn't sound unwatchable, if that makes sense to those two. I'm
Yeah,
like,
indeed.
I kind of want to see this.
Indeed. Have we established whether Kevin Owens has the ability to climb a ladder?
If Big Show can, he can.
Yeah.
Well, if he pulls out Big Show's ladder, then yes, I would believe that.
He's not as big as Big Show. He's smaller than Mark Henry, who has climbed ladders.
That is true. That is true.
All right. So your third award, take it away, Mole.
Reverse WrestleMania.
Nice.
I don't know why I did a hand gesture when I'm not on camera, but reverse WrestleMania. But yeah, that is for Hulk Hogan being edited out of a video he was scheduled to appear in.
Nice.
Because this is technically a couple of weeks old, but I make the case, like we say, it's when it first airs, we're allowed to discuss it. So it first aired now, this week, because they took, even though the date's wrong on the network, if it makes sense, it was going to have Big Show the Hulk Hogan, when their monster trucks went at each other. Because
Right.
the video with the list was all about mechanical mayhem. That's been taken out because of racist Hogan. And therefore they delayed the video while they edited him out.
Okay, then.
But that was a pretty good video, Mechanical Mayhem. You got to see Biker Taker again, which is awesome. I do
Nice.
I like Biker Taker. I like Biker Taker. And you got to see some other stuff, like you got to see the time, which I know we may be on different sides of this, but we got the time when fucking Austin ruined McMahon's Corvette. That was a nice fucking car. That was a really nice car. I don't mind if you do that to a piece of shit, but that was nice. That looked nice. But yeah, you also got to see like when Kofi did it to Randy Orton's car, and you got to see the time John Cena wrote "poopy" on JBL's limo.
Ah.
That's one of those. It's so bad, it's iconic.
I think Kofi's was worse because not only was that a nice car, that was a custom car.
It was a custom
made for Orton.
It was a custom car, but I put it to you. You can get that car fixed. You can't get the car Austin ruined fixed when it was filled with cement. True. The second that gets hard, that car is officially written off.
Yeah.
True.
By the way, speaking of custom cars, did they show Brock Lesnar destroying JJ Security's $300,000 Cadillac?
For like 2 seconds, but I think it was because this list was planned because they planned to do that. And then it was meant to air. Ironically, I think it was meant to air during the week he did that, or like the week afterwards or something. But still, it was pretty cool because whenever you see that stuff, it's always fun in wrestling. Whenever they when Big Show topples the fucking car over at Tori Wilson's and stuff, it's it's fun. And I will admit, like I said, I've grown to enjoy the list now because as much as I wanted it to be like Countdown, I'm okay with them just showing me a load of stuff I remember and being like, okay, that's kind of cool. Yeah, I remember this. Oh, yeah, that's kind of funny that you're talking about this. So it's got its place. Back to Hammer.
All right. Yeah, I saw the product placement one that you mentioned. That was pretty good.
Do you see what I mean by the video of they're not like top 10, they're just in a random order?
It reminds me of like I love the 90s and I love the 80s and stuff from VH1. It reminds me of that.
Oh, I remember those at one point because I remember at one point I was watching one of those, and this is just a slight off topic, but we'll come back to topic. When I was in America and I was watching one of them with someone who doesn't watch wrestling, and they were older than me, and they're like, oh, I remember this guy from this American TV show, and I didn't know most of them. Jericho appeared. I'm like, oh my god, it's Jericho! And he's like, who? And I'm like, it's Jericho, the first ever Undisputed Champion. He's like, Undisputed of what? And I'm like, ah! It's Jericho! And then I took a second because this was before he returned. You know, when he returned as Y2J the first or the second time or whatever. And I was like, wait, that's Jericho. Yeah. And I was like, wait a minute. And they're like, what? Why does he have short hair? And I was like, oh. I remember later on when he came back as WWE with short hair, I was oddly okay with it because I got used to it from stuff like that. I was like, oh, okay, you have short hair now. Sorry about the little.
That's fine.
Rant, but
okay, Jim, your third award.
All right. Now, before anybody says anything about this, I know why it actually happened. I'm looking at this strictly from how it appears. You're looking at it strictly from a K-fob perspective here.
Mark.
And I call this award. Stop talking, you idiot! Because I'm watching the end of Raw, and in the time that he is standing there with the briefcase stand talking to the referee, if Sheamus had shut the fuck up, he could have pinned Rollins and got out of there before Orton RKO'd him to hell. It's like I understand from a production perspective that he was waiting for Orton to get the fuck up and get in the ring, but at the same time, he's standing there screaming, I'm cashing in. He said it like 9 times. Say it once, let go of the case, and then pin his ass.
I'm gonna say, I gave this an award.
Okay.
For a slightly different aspect.
Okay.
I called it Let It Go, Let It Go. Because Sheamus has the briefcase in his hand. He's saying, cash in. And the ref's like trying to pull it, but when Sheamus is pulling it back, it's saying, cash in. And I'm like, what are you doing? Let go of the briefcase and you will cash in. I don't know how this works. I mean, I like Sheamus and stuff like that, but you don't hold on to because it was a really long time. Because I don't know if we've seen that. It was a really long time of him holding the briefcase and then going towards the ref and then pulling it back, then towards the ref and pulling back while screaming, cashing it in.
Yeah, literally, it was like 5 straight minutes. I don't know if Orton like missed the cue or if he like hurt himself when he went down and it took a minute for him to get up. I don't know what happened, but Because what happened at the end of Raw is Orton was facing Rollins in a match because Orton won a triple threat earlier in the night against Owens and Cesaro for the title match. And so, basically, Sheamus came out and he pulled Randy Orton into the ring and he beat the crap out of him and he tossed him into the steps, then he threw him into the barricade. Then he left him outside the ring. Then Orton had already, like, I think what he did, the apron DDT to Rollins or something. I can't remember when he took him down, but Rollins was down in the ring. And so Sheamus jumps in with the briefcase, he starts handing it to the ref, and he's like, oh, and he gets that look in his eyes, and he starts handing it to the ref, and literally, for like 5 minutes, he's only cashing it in and like shaking it back and forth between his hands and the ref's hands, instead of letting it go and shutting the fuck up. And like you can tell, like, okay, he's taking this long, or he's gonna come in here and stop this, or something's gonna happen, and sure enough, as soon as he finally let go and turned around, he got RKO'd, and the bell never rang, so it didn't count as a cash-in, which is a stupid fucking rule, by the way.
It's a stupid rule, but I've come to terms with the fact, okay, because they technically didn't cash it in until the match part begins, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's stupid. It's just a way of prolonging it and getting some fake cash-ins.
Pretty much, and so therefore it's like, okay, I understand why you're doing this, but this looks really bad from a perspective of if you legitimately want to cash this in, hand it to him, say it once, let go of the case, and you could have pinned Rollins and gotten out of there before Orton got up at the time it took him to actually get up.
Yeah. Which, yeah, that looked really awkward. I was just holding it. It's like, no, let go. Just let go already.
I mean, even like a split second sooner, and you could have turned around, seen Orton coming in the ring, bro kicked him, and then pinned Rollins. Either way. Stupid. But anyway, back to Hammy.
Did you, like, hit your head 2 times first, like Ryback? Stupid. All right. So, Marcus, your
I pounded the mat twice like Randy Orton. Stupid! Stupid Sheamus! Stupid! Stupid!
Then threw out your shoulder.
All right, my what are we on? Third award?
Third award.
We are on the third award.
My third award, I call it "Bad Isn't Just a Name." And that's for during the Team Bad versus Team Bella match with PCB on commentary. God, they need a new name. That is such a stupid name.
Well, they tried that, but it didn't end quite well. See last week's X-Marks for details.
Yes, indeed. That's WWE just getting lazy. Like, no, we can't bother coming up with a new name, PCB. But anyway, so with them on commentary, and I think it was Cole asked Paige what she thought of Team Bad, and Paige is like, well, they don't call Sasha Banks the boss for nothing. And Cole's like, what about the other two? And Paige is all like, they don't count. I was like, oh. It's like, damn.
To be fair,
Paige knows what's up.
to be fair, Tamina's good.
She is. But I was just like,
Naomi
wow.
should.
Paige just completely discounted the other two. I was like, nope, Sasha Banks is the only threat on that team. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
I just thought that was funny. So I was like, oh, okay, that deserves an award.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, they don't count.
Nope.
So for my third award, I didn't want to, but Corey Graves is going to open his mouth again. Fucking, I try to only pick on him once a week, but no. So this is those are $500 sunglasses award for Becky Lynch comes out for a match with Bayley, and he's like, oh man, look at she's wearing sunglasses. My mom always told me that only 2 people wear sunglasses indoors, blind people and jerks. I'm like, what? And then one of the other 2 points out those are goggles. They're not sunglasses. And also, nobody points out that Sasha Banks is sitting right there with him, and he's doing the normal heel bullshit of like, oh, kiss up to the person that's out here because they're a heel too, and interrupt like all the other shit to do nonsense stuff about like, oh, you're gonna have a party after this. Shut up, nobody gives a shit. Just fucking call the match. But Sasha Banks comes out with sunglasses, those stupid Kanye West slat ones, and he's just like, oh, only 2 people wear sunglasses. I'm like, no one's gonna point out that Sasha wears sunglasses? For sure, fine, whatever. Get your heel shit right. I mean, if you're gonna do it, at least do it right.
I could see that. But I will say he is right. You should not wear sunglasses indoors.
Exactly.
Unless it's really bright inside. But when I always hate it when I see people do that. Like it's darker outside or it's dark inside or something. And they're wearing sunglasses. And I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with you?
Alright.
Like, seriously.
You don't want anybody to wear sunglasses inside? That's fine. I'll let you be the one to tell The Rock.
Fair enough. If you're the one who tells The Rock he's not allowed to make any more Doom films.
I would tell him that.
Or if you tell The Rock exactly how much screen time he actually had in Transformers Prime. And then how much screen time the character actually had. So he's like, no, I ran out. Oh, no, I could have got some of that money then.
Yes.
I need it for my eyebrow-shaped swimming pool I was making. Which I loved it when someone pointed that out on one of the list videos I watched earlier about like good-looking superstars, and someone mentioned The Rock. One of the celebrities mentioned that, you know, The Rock's eyebrow, whenever he does it, his famous eyebrow.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's like, yeah, it's an iconic look. And he's like, that's not an iconic symbol of The Rock's eyebrow, because you turn it upside down, it's just the Nike logo. And I'm like, oh my god, yes! They showed both next to each other. I'm like, yes!
Mm-hmm.
He has an upside down Nike. It's the people's Nike logo.
Nike. But yes, it is. Kind of.
Actually, it's pronounced Nike.
Right.
No.
Yes. It genuinely is meant to be pronounced Nike, not Nike.
Okay then.
Yes, but the company is Nike. The word might be Nike, but the company is Nike.
No, the company is actually Nike. It's one of those things, like they've mentioned, where people say Porsche and Porsche. As people who make Porsches say, it's actually supposed to be Porsche, not Porsche, like people try to make out. Literally down the road from me is a Nike warehouse on Cheshire Oaks. People can check that out. And they even say inside there, it's Nike, because I know someone who says Nike, and they're like, no, it's meant to be Nike. Our company says it's Nike. It even says it on the adverts over here and stuff of Nike. That's how it's supposed to be pronounced.
Okay, then. I've never heard it pronounced that way, but fair enough.
Alrighty.
All right, your fourth award then, Mole?
I gave my fourth, I believe.
Oh, okay. So, Jim, your fourth?
Alrighty. So my fourth award, again, I could not come up with a witty title for this. I'm a little down on the witty titles tonight, but this award is going to go to Joshua Kingsley. Which, I don't know if anybody's aware, but apparently that name, Joshua Kingsley, is officially the new persona of Brad Maddox. I guess
In Team Meat or whatever.
I guess beef mode didn't work out.
Right.
But I have a photo here if you guys like to see this. But Brad Maddox is now has a new character that he did. He's been apparently trying a few different things at the live shows. This is the new one, and it evidently involves him. He has dyed his hair blonde, and he's wearing a white short sleeve shirt, a pair of trousers, and a pair of suspenders. Joshua Kingsley is the name. They don't really say anything about the gimmick, just that he debuted and he cut a promo saying his name was Joshua Kingsley. So I don't know. But here, if you would like to, that is the article. There's a photo in the Twitter in there of his new gimmick in there.
Which, what I take from this is hashtag bring back Kruger.
Pretty much.
Leo Kruger was awesome.
I don't even know what Leo Kruger's gimmick was.
He was sort of like insane. His promo was similar to, you know, I'm not going to say Bray Wyatt because that's way too over the top, but do you remember early Mankind before they ruined him and put the shirt on him?
When he was hanging out in the boiler room?
Yeah, and he was like just insane and like rocking back and forth and stuff.
Yeah.
And he would have this weird accent when he spoke, and I don't mean his actual voice before some people say that. I mean, he'd say stuff like, I am Leo Kruger. It was amazing. I loved his promos. They were awesome. You should check them out. They should be on YouTube. Check them out. They're fucking awesome.
I will check that out. Supposedly there's been fan demand for his Kruger character to come back by the fans in attendance in the live event. So
yeah, it's because and he's also been tweeting about bring back Kruger.
Yeah. But yeah, so here's Joshua Kingsley, and if you guys look at the photo, am I the only one getting a Kerwin White feel from this guy?
Yeah.
Only a little less fancy.
A Kerwin White feel.
I'm sorry. They dyed his hair bleach blonde. He's wearing white colors. I'm sorry. He kind of looks like Kerwin White, except actually white.
See, to me, with his outfit there, it looks sort of like IRS, but blonde.
That's true. It does kind of look like IRS without his tie. Yes.
IRS, but blonde.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm interested to see where this new character goes, see what they can do with him, because I want to see Brad Maddox back on. Actually, it says he premiered the character at the SmackDown taping, so maybe it was on SmackDown and I didn't see it. Fair enough.
He might have. It might have been a dark match as well. I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't have a chance to watch SmackDown.
Yeah, I'll go back and check SmackDown, so maybe we'll find out more about the character. But yeah, I want to see him come back on Raw and do some stuff because I like him.
I did have time to rewatch all of Raw, but I didn't have. Afterwards, I was like, I don't have time to rewatch all of SmackDown for something else I was doing.
Fair enough. But yeah, so Joshua Kingsley. Back to Hammy.
All right. So Marcus, your fourth award.
All right. My fourth award I call RK No Way. And it's kind of way back to one of Jim's earlier awards, but a different match, an earlier match. And it was a triple threat match between Orton, Owens, and Cesaro. And it was the end of the match. Owens goes for a pop-up powerbomb on Cesaro. Cesaro counters out, and Owens keeps running forward, right into Orton, who slides into the ring and RKOs him. Fair enough, out of nowhere. But then, Cesaro, who wasn't staggered because he clearly countered Owens' moves and landed on his feet, literally standing behind Orton, watching Orton, and actually even kind of starting to crash down, like he's starting to stalk Orton behind him, starts to slowly walk up behind him, and Orton just kind of runs over and RKOs him. I'm like, wait, what? Like, wait, did Cesaro just let him RKO him? Because I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't buy that there was no way for Cesaro to counter that when Cesaro was literally standing there for 2 minutes while Orton RKO'd Kevin Owens. I'm like, no, just no.
He saw it coming. I'm pretty sure Jericho invented that.
I'm like, I'm sorry, no, you can't have someone stand there for like 2-3 minutes and not be able to counter someone running at them to do an RKO. I'm like, no. And it was such a good match, too. And then
maybe he thought he was going to do something else.
Right. No.
Orton has other moves. Like he sometimes runs and does the clothesline before he starts to do like the scoop and all of his comeback signature crap.
Mm-hmm. I thought that Cesaro turned around after the Owens RKO and then ran at Orton, and that's when he got RKO'd.
See, to me, it didn't look like he ran him. It seemed like he turned around, stopped for a second as Owens was getting RKO'd, and then kind of started to stalk him, and then Orton's with his back to him kind of spun around a little bit like, oh, Cesaro was there, and then ran at him and RKO'd him. I'm like, no, at least have Cesaro, have to move and have Orton like maybe counter out of it and do an RKO. That would have been fine, but it just, I don't know, it felt to me like Cesaro was just fucking standing there waiting for Orton to RKO him. I'm like, really?
No. Because I think, if I recall correctly, Owens was getting a pinfall to Cesaro. Orton broke it up, RKO'd, Orton broke up the, came in after the botched power bomb. Owens had been knocked backward by Owens. He RKO'd Owens. Then Cesaro turned around after getting his bearings. That's when he got RKO'd.
But Cesaro didn't need to get his bearings because Cesaro countered the pop-up powerbomb by shoving Owens and landing on his feet and turning around right as Owens got the RKO. Okay. And he just kind of stood there and started to stalk around Orton like he was going to try to do something from behind. And then Orton just boom RKO. I'm like, no, that's not how your RKO works, dude.
isn't it?
It kind of is. He was within range and he had a stored finisher. That was kind of inevitable.
Isn't it how it works, Marcus?
Not from that distance. I don't know, it just seems a little unrealistic to me. I'm like, at
It was
least have
a-
him do a move. That's all you have to do is have him try to do something, and the orange be like, nope, RKO.
It was a vacuum grab.
Yeah.
Vacuum
Kind
grab.
of, yes. That's what it looked like. And I'm like, no, that's not how this works.
It wasn't that bad.
Was to me, damn it. It was to me. Back to the tower.
Okay, my fourth award, which is my last one for the night, is the Brutality Award for Up Up Down Down, the YouTube channel. They had Kofi as Superfly versus Xavier Woods, Austin Creed, and MKX for first to 5. And that was actually pretty entertaining because you had Sandow or Sizzle, whatever you want to call him, doing like rhyming stuff, and they had like Kofi and Woods had some really good like trash talk going on, and then at one point they were like filming something out in the hallway outside, so they were being all quiet and like trying to trash talk and like be all quiet and not like freak out when stuff was happening. But it was actually pretty entertaining to watch them do that. And spoiler alert, but Austin Creed wins 5-4 over Kofi, and the punishment this week was they had to ask permission. The loser had to ask permission to compliment the winner, and for 60 seconds, and he did it. And Mr. Miller or Heath Slater, whichever you want to call him, was timing it on Woods' phone or for how long he had to do it. And Kofi like routed off all the stuff, and he's like, how much longer do I have? And he's like, 30 seconds. He goes, that was only 30 seconds? Oh, and they write a thing on there, and they're like, was that only 30 seconds? I was like, I didn't think so, but okay. And then he does some more, and he's like, how much time do I have? And he's like, you're at 45 seconds. He goes, what? Let me see. And he looks, and he's like, that's a minute 40. He's like, man, screw you guys. Like way over time. But it was pretty entertaining.
So I feel like they ask, who are they playing at? Who are they playing as?
Creed was Sub-Zero, although he claimed to also be good with I forgot who he said. And Kofi was rocking Katana.
Nice.
Fair enough.
And yeah, they like I would not call it high level play, but it was definitely better than their Street Fighter 4 showings.
Fair enough.
Like they actually knew the moves, and they would do X-rays and fatalities and stuff. So they knew what they were doing, even if it wasn't like super pro level. But it was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. And I will say to you, Marcus, just because you and Jim were having the debate about what happened with that move, I've got my DVR up. Kevin Owens goes to pop-up bomb, RKO. Orton's down on the floor. Cesaro walks over to him and goes to grab him. And as his arms are up to grab him and lift him up, Orton RKO's him 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, which I still say with his arms up, especially with his arms up, Cesaro should have just been able to shove him away because Orton has to go up toward the arms to do the RKO.
Yeah, but like I said, Cesaro walks over to him, goes to grab him, and as he's doing the motion to grab him, like literally as we're talking right now, goes to grab, boom, RKO. It's like literally out of nowhere. There's like a millisecond of like Orton but getting quickly popping up and doing it. Like, where is it? I can't believe I'm rewinding this live, but still. Rewind, and boom, RKO. He walks over to him to grab him. Boom, RKO. Boom, RKO.
Yeah. I still think there would have been reaction time, but fair enough. There
was no reaction time, because as Cesaro went down to grab him, Orton literally just went, jumped up and RKO'd him. So it was more like Orton capitalized on the fact Cesaro was going to grab him, which means Cesaro was already doing an action. Like, right now, Jeff, stick out your arms and go to grab something, and as you stick out both arms to go to grab, you've got all that fucking vulnerable space in the middle that Orton just went RKO instantly.
Fair enough. I still don't like the ending. But fair enough.
Okay.
All right. So, Mole, your fifth award?
My fifth award is, are you ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
New Challenger. Thank you. Yeah, I thought Rick would do it. Yeah, Steve Amell. And this award goes to Steve Amell. He posted a live video, and during the live video, a fan asks if he'll be in 2K16, and he says, they've not asked me, but if they need me for voiceovers or anything like that, he would be more than willing to do it. And then he notes, and I know some of you are probably thinking, but I shouldn't be in the game. I'm going to make the case. Arnold Schwarzenegger got in, and he hasn't had a match. I'm having a match this Sunday. Or coming up, whichever one he said. And I'm like, that's awesome. Yeah, he has. He's actually wrestling this year. He should be in the game more than Terminator. I'd like Steve Amell as a DLC or something.
I would agree, but that's a slippery slope, because then you're giving them an excuse to put Snooki in the game.
She's not wrestling this year.
No, but she did wrestle. Schwarzenegger's never wrestled.
Yeah, she did wrestle. I'm not saying every celebrity should be in it, but right now, if Steve Amell's still pretty popular with the wrestling fans and this storyline, like it's SummerSlam, it's like 2 months before the game comes out. Why not do the celebrity in the game that year? And say next, like a WrestleMania, if they had as much as I know they won't be able to do this, but let's say WrestleMania when they had Ronda Rousey there, why not put her in the game?
That's true.
I'm not saying they need to do it with every celebrity, but when they have a big celebrity wrestle a match or at least appear or something like that, there's no reason not to put them in the game.
True.
And I will also say, like I mentioned in the past, I'm okay with Terminator because of he was at least at WrestleMania this year, so I will allow this, even if it was via satellite. And also, I'm sorry, in the past games, if everyone played all the past games, who didn't enjoy beating the living shit out of Fred Durst? I loved beating the shit out of Fred Durst. I liked Limp Bizkit. They were awesome at one point, but it was a case of I still liked using them as a beat slut. I don't know why. But that was my fifth award.
And just because that's how it goes, I don't think there was, but I would imagine if at some point there had been a WCW game featuring David Arquette, I'm pretty sure people would use him as a beat slut too.
Maybe. But, like I said, that was my fifth award. Back to Hammer.
All right, Jim, your fifth award?
Woo. All right, so this, the title is slightly misleading, but not totally.
Oh, no.
We're going to follow up on a story from last week. It's called It's Still Raining Cases. Because Roman Reigns gave an interview regarding the situation that happened that I mentioned last week with the case that hit him in the head. And it's kind of interesting to see his perspective on how that went down. Because he mentions that, yeah, I was confused at first because I thought Bray Wyatt hit me in the head with a kendo stick. Because apparently Bray Wyatt had a kendo stick in his hand during the match. And I said, I thought Bray Wyatt hit me with the kendo stick, so immediately I was like, oh man, you're about to get it, brother. Oh, you're about to get your ass whooped. But then I looked down and I could see the briefcase, so then I was trying to piece it together. And he says, if you see the video, you can see him stand up to where he kind of got a little bit hot. And then once he processed what happened in a matter of seconds, he knew what had to be done. It's security took care of it. They confirmed that luckily it was a plastic briefcase. Otherwise, that could have been a lot worse.
Called it being a toy.
You did. It was a, he said it was just a bad choice by a 31-year-old man throwing a briefcase at entertainers while they're busting their ass for you. Everybody was on top of it. He was escorted out briefly after, and luckily for him, the case was plastic, so it didn't hurt. But it scared him, and that's what was something that could have hurt him more. I mean, it could have hit him in the eye.
I'm glad they caught the guy, and that case is closed.
And then he gets all serious, like, yeah, I'm a character and a sports entertainer and wrestler, but I'm also a father and a husband and a provider. So that's scary, because I'm going out there to put on a good show and provide for my family and take care of my future, and if somebody takes it away from me for, the 10 seconds of internet fame, that's tough to deal with. That's hard to process. So, luckily it was just a plastic toy. It could have been something much worse, somebody could have thrown a fucking knife at him or something. And he could be, dead, or he could not have a career, not be able to provide for his family. So that could have been a lot worse than it was. Thank God it was only a plastic toy.
That'd have to be a hell of a shot. to throw a knife. I'm thinking like they'd have to have like the precision to go and get that target accurate.
Also, let's be fair. Is anyone that's stepped on plastic or, just in general, plastic can hurt a lot, regardless, especially if it's like that size. So, metal would probably kill them, but
especially if
plastic is still hefty with that size.
Especially if it's briefcase shaped.
Yeah.
As you'll know, because like you said, you've stepped on stuff like I have before. Now it's like toys and stuff. If it's got a corner.
Yeah.
Ooh, if it's got a corner, that's and you're barefoot, that's horrible. But yeah, imagine if the corner had hit him.
Oof. That would not have been good.
That'd be the worst thing to happen to him since Brian returned.
Yeah. But it would have been fun. Like, I like how, it's okay, good that he caught himself, but it would have been hilarious if he didn't catch himself and he just started legitimately beating the shit out of Bray Wyatt and Bray Wyatt had no idea why. That would have been fucking hilarious.
How amazing would that be if that happened and Bo Dallas ran out? Because Bo Dallas is legitimately the tough brother or some shit, just beats the shit out of Roman Reigns at a live event. He would be fucking elevated like fuck.
That would have been that would be amazing.
Or released. Probably released.
Yeah, one of the
probably,
two.
but that would have been cool. What a way to go.
Oh my god, imagine if I don't think WWE would release him, because think about it, if they release him and he went to like Global Force Wrestling or something like that, he could literally be, I'm the guy that they've thrown out of WWE because Roman Reigns can't handle me, and especially if he becomes the face of the company.
Oh yeah.
That would never happen, but that would just be hilarious.
That
just
would
imagine it. Even more, imagine Bray Wyatt breaking character and be like, no, and cowering in the corner as he's being beaten on.
That'd be hysterical. I'll teach you to pick on my brother, and you can believe that!
Yeah. I also would love it because it wasn't a triple threat. Imagine if it was a But imagine if it was a triple threat and the other person just sees that and just like, there, sticks a shot like that, fucking just leaves.
Yeah. I think it was a one-on-one match between Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt, although evidently it was a no DQ match considering that Bray Wyatt apparently had a kendo stick.
Or the ref was unconscious.
Or the ref was knocked out already, yeah.
And
that's a valid point, though. They escorted that dude out of arena, but shouldn't that have been an automatic DQ victory for Roman Reigns?
Not if it was a no DQ match.
Now, if it was an DQ match, no, but if it was just the referee was out and Wyatt grabbed a kendo stick, that's technically Reigns got hit with a briefcase. That would be a DQ. But I guess if the ref was out and couldn't see it, it wouldn't matter, but still.
I'm pretty sure the ref was fine.
I feel like WWE should do that as a storyline now with like Seth Rollins or someone. Like he's in a matchup, like say this Sunday, he's in a match with Cena, saying that during the matchup, something comes out the crowd and hits Seth Rollins and he wins by DQ. And then you find out that guy was a plant. Which I will say, as I predicted to Jeff, I'm predicting Seth Rollins will win on Sunday, or if he loses, it will be by something like count out or DQ. He is keeping that title.
Yeah. Who's he going against?
Cena.
Oh.
Which means that I'm like, he's going against Cena. I'm like, and it's title versus title. I'm like, I don't think they're going to unite the United States title and the world title into one. And I know there's no way Cena. Yeah. The world of America, as Americans believe. But it would be it would be a case of I don't think they'll do that, and I genuinely believe. I don't think Cena's going to equal Ric Flair's record. Right now, they would have made a bigger deal about it. That's just my.
Oh my god! I'm sorry. I don't mean.
Sorry, when he keyed up,
you have my permission to win.
Sorry, when he keyed up, it was like, oh my god!
Sorry, no. I was looking. Number one. I just found somebody had a series of still images showing the briefcase flying at Roman Reigns here. And number one, Roman Reigns is on his knees, about to get bashed in the face with the kendo stick. So he just nailed the back of the head while he's on his knees. Number two, the ref is right there and saw it. Number three. This guy also, whoever this person is to put a bunch of images in this YouTube video, actually put up somebody apparently made a post on some message board saying, tonight I'm going to throw this briefcase at Roman Reigns. Check the news tomorrow. And there's a picture of the briefcase, and the guy has edited it. It's a toy Money in the Bank briefcase, but the guy has edited it. So instead of Money in the Bank, it says Sasha Banks.
But she's
That's
gonna
hysterical.
get no, I'm kidding.
They tape the word Sasha over money, and then it's in the bank, and then they put a $S at the end of bank.
Wow.
Wow, that's hysterical. I'll show you guys a video after the recording. I apologize. Continue.
Still somewhat relevant.
It is relevant. So hammer time.
Tower.
That was Mole. That was your fifth one. No, I'm lost.
I gave a fifth one about the game, but Jim gave one about the briefcase.
So I think we're going on to Marcus.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was to Marcus.
All right. My fifth and final award. I call it "Kids Say the Darndest Things." Kudos to anyone who remembers that show.
Sorry, I don't watch things starring rapists.
I'm gonna have to say, no, it did not star a rapist. It starred someone who was almost convicted of murder. And that's because over here we had the same show, and that guy, he's a homosexual actor and stuff. And eventually they found what they believed to be his lover drowned in his pool, and he got arrested for murder. Then he got released because it turned out it wasn't him, he hadn't done it and stuff, and then eventually went on to Big Brother and stuff. Pretty cool.
Okay, then.
So I do remember that show, but not the show you remember.
Anyway, that goes to the NXT Kids leaked pilot that's no longer on Vimeo. It just made me laugh because it was the main event of Kalisto versus Ty Dillinger. And Ty Dillinger comes walking out. And it's on the commentary, it's Corey Graves, who's the primary commentator, doing the play-by-play because wrestler, he knows all them holds and moves. And a couple of kids, a couple of boys.
Cole.
What's that?
So just like Michael Cole.
Actually, I like the commentary. It was really good. The voice was really good. Corey Graves was actually really good. Anyway, he turns around, or well, not you don't actually see him. It's just audio commentary. But he turns around and asks one of the boys, one of the co-commentators. He goes, "So, what do you guys think of Ty Dillinger?" And without hesitation, immediately the boy's like, "He's a jerk." And what's up with his hair? Corey replies, well, he's got a new hairstyle, to try to impress the kids. And he's got kind of like these lines cut into the sides of his hair and kind of like a fade, like what the kids do, I suppose. And then the boy turns around and responds, "Well, that doesn't impress me." I was just like, "Damn, Ty, you just got shut down by a kid. Leave the arena. You lost already."
Yeah. Like I said to you when I mentioned about the NXT Kids doing stuff, I was on board with that. I have managed to watch it afterwards. I loved what they did with the kid interviewers, the kid commentators,
that was awesome.
Mixing it all together. It still felt like NXT, but presented in a way that I know a kid would like. Therefore, it'll get them into these superstars before they come on the main roster and all that stuff. And I'm like, this is a really cool idea. This looks way better than Saturday Morning Slam or whatever it's called.
Yeah, that show was bullshit.
Yeah. I also love that.
And that show still isn't on the WWE Network. What the hell?
Yeah. I also love that for this segment of the live show, they took all the kids and their parents and moved them up to the front seats so the kids can get high fives from the superstars and stuff as they're coming down. Bailey ran around and high fived and hugged people and stuff. It was awesome.
Aww.
But yeah, I love the interview with because the interview that night was with a Long Island Ice Z, Zack Ryder, and the girl turns around and asks him. She's like, "So, where did the woo 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 come from?" And he goes, "Well, honestly, that came from a pickup line I used to try to pick up girls." And she goes, how many times did that actually work? And it cuts and shows an older shot of Zack Ryder backstage at Raw or something, walking by. I can't remember who it was. It was one of the divas, and he goes, "Woo, woo, woo." And the diva just kind of looks at him and walks off. And it cuts back to the interview, and he goes, 0.
Yeah.
Oh, but what about Eve Torres?
Ah.
I remember that storyline.
I believe the only reason he got with her is because instead of woo woo woo, his pickup line was "I'm friends with John Cena."
No, I believe that's the reason Cena got with her was I'm friends with Zack Ryder. But yeah, like I said, NXT Kids. I don't know if I don't know if Jim or Richter managed to watch it. It was weirdly fascinating.
Yeah,
like it was like a weird concept that on paper could either fail or succeed. And I'm glad it looks like it's succeeded because it was pretty cool.
So it was an NXT just like all hosted by kids. Is that the premise here?
It was short.
Kids
it was about 20 minutes.
NXT.
Yeah,
Kids
it was
and
NXT.
Corey Graves, sorry.
Yeah, with Corey Graves as the main commentator, and at least one boy. I thought he had 2 with him. I could be wrong. Doing the commentary with him as a commentating team.
Okay.
And a girl doing the interviews, and it was 2 matches.
So basically, what we're actually establishing here, Richter, correct me if I'm wrong on this. What we're establishing here is that kids could do Corey Graves' job better than Corey Graves.
I believe it.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah, I don't know
how
if
when Corey Graves was also doing his job. That joke doesn't work unless he's been replaced by a kid.
No, but he was talking to that one kid about the one guy's stupid hair, and he clearly out-promoted Corey Graves or out-talked Corey Graves during that segment.
Which you could make the case. This proves kids can replace the other NXT commentators that aren't Corey Graves, as he had good back and forth banter. That's how commentators work.
Well, that's true. Well, that doesn't shock me because one of the other NXT commentators is Byron Saxton, and yeah, anybody could replace him. And regularly do. They just throw him out of his chair and just replace him. They don't care anymore.
No, I don't know. He's no Mike Adamle.
That's true.
I think that surprised me because of the concept of this show and the fact there was only going to be 2 matches, and at least in this one they were both singles matches. I was afraid the matches weren't going to be as good as, like, say, a full NXT match or something. These are actually 2 really solid matches. No, I was surprised. I was like, wow, okay, I kind of want to watch this show.
They're good matches. I will admit they're not as good as NXT matches normally, but they're definitely not good bad matches. Like you said, they're good matches. I like them.
Yeah, if anything, the only reason they're not as good as the NXT ones is because they're shorter, because time constraint.
They're a little shorter. Plus, I also think they won't do too many dangerous stuff if kids are like
high impact stuff.
High impact or anything that looks like the reason they got rid of the curb stomp is because kids might do it.
Mm-hmm.
But
like trying to do the pedigree is any safer.
But I think, and like I said, we're looking forward to NXT Kids, and I want when it launches, I am looking forward to see if Richter, because obviously Richter watches NXT as well. I'd be interested to see if this is an NXT that Richter can watch with his kids and they get more enjoyment out of it, or if it's just an NXT that's like Richter watches and it's like, no, I don't care anymore.
Well, I think by virtue of the fact that Corey Graves is the primary commentary, I'm going to go with option B on this one.
To be fair, Richter's hatred of Corey Graves doesn't stop him enjoying NXT when he is a commentator, so Richter might just prefer the kid commentator that's on the commentary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but to be fair, with NXT, at least you have the rest of the commentary team. With this one, it's mostly Corey Graves, at least with this episode it was. I mean, yeah, the kids talked to him, they did a great job, but it's mostly Corey Graves just talking with the kids and like asking questions and stuff.
Yeah, it was Corey Graves
to their stuff.
It was Corey Graves doing like the move names and all of the official like type stuff, but he was also interacting with the kids, and then you were getting a kid's perspective on the match, which is interesting because that's literally almost the opposite of our show.
Yes.
Due to the fact if it's kids on there, they're more, and I don't mean this in a derogatory way, but they're more likely to be marks, which means they're more likely to get caught up in it than adults do, where the adults will be way more jaded on certain stuff. Kids will be like, that was awesome! And kids will probably not, you know what I mean? They'll probably get more enthusiastic easily or quickly or whatever you want to say, more than an adult who would have to fake it.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be pretty fun. I don't know if Richter would watch NXT, Ken.
I don't know either.
I'm sorry. Let me give you a hug like the radio play.
Oh, okay.
Ah, you feel like marshmallow.
Nice. Alrighty.
And I believe it'd be back to Rick.
It is.
All right, so now on to the match and promo of the night.
Alright.
Didn't you have a fifth one?
No, I don't. I didn't know.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking in case, because we were talking, I was hoping we hadn't accidentally made you forget the order or something. My bad.
No, I did not have a fifth one. So the match and promo of the night. Take it away, Mole.
My promo of the night? Miz TV. I know that probably shocked people, but Miz was on fire. Daniel Bryan was not bad in this promo.
Yes.
He wasn't doing all the yes stuff. He was cool. Big Show came out and made jokes about stuff like how Miz looked like, what was it, a transvestite or something like that, and he mixed it all together. It was pretty funny because Miz's outfit was something that looks right on Miz, but if I wore it, I would just look like a complete twat.
Yes.
Isn't
In other
that
words, what he
right?
normally wears.
Yeah, which
That's what Miz looked like, so I assume that's.
I make the case Miz has got that look to him where if he wears that, you're like, oh, it looks sort of like, you know, like the pretentious Hollywood actors. That stereotype. On me, the outfit looks like a twat. On them, for some reason, it looks natural. I don't know why.
See, well, we went through this last time when he dressed up like that, and why is there a difference between those two? I think when they dress up like a pretentious twat, that's what they should look like. If that's what they're acting like.
Kind of, but like I said, I make the case some people could pull off different looks. Like, I can't pull off Fred from Scooby-Doo look. Or I couldn't pull off urban rap artist with the gold chains, and that just would look wrong on me. And it's like, for some reason, it looks right on Miz. Yeah, some people will look at him and think he's a pretentious twat, but other people will look at him and think, that kind of looks right. This guy, but I can tell this dude's a douche, but it looks right. And it's like when he insults Steve Amell and stuff, and then the injure machine comes back with Ryback to get fed more wrestlers to injure. But as much as I don't like Ryback, the whole thing as a whole worked. It just worked. That was a great promo, Miz TV. And my match of the night went to Team Bellas versus Team Bad, which ended with Brie Bella basically getting the victory by, I believe it was Tamina. She rolled up.
Yeah, Tamina tried to do the super kick and Brie Bella rolled her up. But I was like, no, bullshit. But yeah.
Yeah, she went to do it and then she got rolled up, and I'm like, I like that match, and I didn't mind the ending, and I was like, that, as a match as a whole, it was either that or that triple threat match, but I went with this one because that was a fucking solid match. I like that match. So back to Hammy.
All right, so Jim, your match and promo of the week.
Fair enough. My promo for the week was Miz TV. Because I also like the dynamic that all the guys seem to be having. They all seem to be energetic. They were all on point with their mic work. Steve Amell got a shout out from the Miz. Big Show came out and did his thing. Big Show's reaction was like, "You want me to retire?" That was kind of funny.
Sorry. I shouldn't do shock. Jim Cho's right. Yay.
But that was overall a really great promo. I like that, and it was one of the only promos I actually saw because, I get to roll late, so my choices were basically that, Triple H and Rollins yelling at each other, or Ambrose and Reigns being boring in the back. So this is the best option. So this is a good promo. I enjoyed it, and my match, I gave it to the Triple Threat, actually. Because, I got there too late. I didn't get to see the Divas match. But I did really like it.
If I was the promo I was thinking of, that wasn't terrible with Reigns and Ambrose in the back.
It was okay.
How do I like my stuff? How do I like my stuff? And he mentions it, and each one, Dean Ambrose is fun. And I love the last one. How do I like my beer? Ice cold. And Reigns is like, yeah, and just walks off. I'm like, I don't know why. That seemed kind of funny. I don't like Ambrose. I don't know why, but that promo seemed like just two mates taking the piss.
You know, it's nice to have somebody by your side, you know, to hang out with, to steal cars with. Like, whoa, no.
Yeah, you shouldn't steal cars with your friends. So when was the last time you and Marcus played GTA Online?
Ha, nice. But yeah, I like it to the Miz TV promo because they all seem to be on point. It was funny. Daniel Bryan got to make an appearance. Miz was doing a great job throwing insults at people. It was just an entertaining segment. And like I said, my match, the triple threat match, because those three guys busted their asses and left it all in the ring. Was a little sad to see Orton win because as I had a feeling that might happen, but as soon as Orton won, I said, oh my God, if he beats Rollins and they book Cena and Orton at the pay-per-view again, I'm going to shoot myself. Luckily, that did not happen.
To be fair, it wouldn't be Cena v Orton at the pay-per-view.
What do you mean?
It would be Cena versus Orton versus Rollins, because he would logically have his ability, his rematch clause.
That is true. I didn't think of that. You are right. Fair enough. Either way, I like how they kept that as it is. Now, the question's only going to be, is Super Cena going to pull this off and break the Ric Flair record, or is Rollins going to unite this?
Tie?
Yeah, exactly. He'll tie or equal the record. He'll only break it on his next victory, because he's...
I thought Cena was... I thought he was already at 16. Fair enough.
Yeah, they mentioned on Raw he was on 15 and Ric Flair's got 16. I'm like, he's not going to equal Ric Flair's. And if he was, he'd make a bigger deal than just one throwaway line on commentary.
True. Well, I know they did a kind of a half throwaway line about it being, I think, Orton's 13th. So, but anyway, or would have been Orton's 13th. But fair enough. Yeah, a triple threat match, great match. The three guys left it all in the ring. Kevin Owens didn't walk away. It's always positive. You know, they busted their ass in the ring, and it was just a great match, back and forth match between those three dudes, and I really liked it.
I like that match. That was a solid triple threat match.
It was very good. Back to Hammy.
All right. So, Marcus, your match and promo of the week?
My match was the main event of Raw, Orton versus Rollins for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Rollins wins due to DQ thanks to Sheamus coming in and beating the crap out of Orton. And I really liked this match. It was a solid one-on-one match. Yeah, it had some of Rollins running around, but he also, turned around, got a lot of offense, and it showed Rollins strong because Rollins completely mocked the hell out of Randy Orton. And it's just like, wow, really? Like, he must have, super taunt steal or something, because he stole, two of Orton's taunts back-to-back. I was like, wow.
And it led to the greatness of Let It Go.
Yes, well, that's after the match. I
said led to, not included. I said led to.
But yeah, I love because he did, he did the taunt that I stole from Orton, with the hands up. And then after he did a move to Orton, and then he turned around and did the Orton Viper Coil where Orton slams the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And Orton got him. He tried to pedigree him, and then Orton turned around and reversed it into I think it was into a signature backbreaker. And then Orton did the taunt. Was like, no, this is how you do the taunt, Rollins. It was a great match, and both of them looked strong. So, yeah, main event. My promo.
If they both did the taunt, and when they'd both done the taunt, Rick, they both broke their arm.
Oh, the Viper Coil?
Yeah.
That'd be funny. But yes, my promo goes to Stephen Amell, Triple H, and Adrian Neville backstage after the Amell beats the shit out of Cody Rhodes, Stardust segment. And Amell is standing there, and he's like, let us handle Stardust and Wade Barrett. Let us handle him. And Triple H is like, no, there's too much illegal crap, blah, 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 this, and, we don't want you to get hurt. So he's like, let us handle it. And eventually, and Neville's like, hey, Triple H, it wasn't his fault, Stardust started. He's like, I don't care. You're an actor. I'm not putting an actor in the ring. Not with what could happen to you. And Stephen Amell just gets completely and utterly pissed off. And it's just, assuming most of this was acting, it's just a testament to how great an actor Stephen Amell is. He just turns around, and I guess when he gets pissed off, his voice starts to slip a little bit into the Arrow voice, and he just goes, "Make the match!" And I was like, "Whoa, dude!"
Again, technically not the Arrow voice.
I said slips a little bit into it because his voice gets a little bit deeper and gruffer when he gets all pissed off.
It got a little deeper and gruffer, but when he does the Arrow voice, it's more concentrated to deliberately disguise his voice, like the Batman voice.
True.
Yeah, I would say that when his voice went into that make the match, I think that was less Arrow voice, and that was more swear to me.
Yeah, kind of. I love that he just got pissed off enough to just basically go Triple H, like, I don't give a shit what you say. Make the match so I can beat the shit out of Cody Rhodes. And Triple H is like, fine. You want to do this? I'm gonna have my legal team get fucking 9 pages of documents or 9 different documents for you to sign. If you want this match, you have to have all of this shit signed by tomorrow morning. And Steven, I was like, fine, and walks off. I was like, that was just a great promo. I'm like, that's awesome.
It was. Although, like I pointed out to you at the time, it's weird as fuck.
Oh?
Like I said, they've had other actors on there, like Snooki and stuff. They don't have to go through the loops that he's had to go through. And Triple H is saying to him, you're not going to have any stunt doubles, or there's going to be no wires for you and stuff. And famously, his role of Arrow, he does most of his stunts himself without stunt people or without wires and stuff. It's like, no, he's famous for actually being in shape and doing this stuff himself. Why didn't you do this crap with all the other actors?
Yeah, really.
Tell him about the tweet, Mo.
Oh, when Stephen Amell tweeted about that and had a picture of him in the Arrow costume doing like a big leap off this building for one of the stunts, and he's like, no stunt double. No wires. And I was like, that's awesome.
Also, there was something else about this particularly promo that I found interesting that kind of drove home a point that was brought up a couple weeks ago that I know some people, including Marcus Channel, were not totally sure about.
What's that?
Now, looking at all the guys in this that were standing around during this promo as Amell was yelling at Triple H, looking at all the people here, do we all now understand and believe that Adrian Neville is less than 6 feet tall and less than 200 pounds?
Like I said, I believed he was
like a foot shorter than
tall.
Triple H.
Like I said, I believed he was under 6 feet tall. I wasn't questioning that. I was just looking at his bulk. I'm like, there's no way he's under 200 pounds.
Yeah, which, speaking of, I don't know if we're speaking of that promo, the one thing that made me go, what? Was have you seen the match, Rick, that's at SummerSlam with them?
No.
It's Steve Amell teaming with Adrian Neville against Stardust, which makes sense because Adrian Neville's been feuding with Stardust, so's Stephen Amell, and Wade Barrett. And I'm like, fuck all to do with this feud except this one segment tonight. But no, this makes there's no sense in this.
Well, I think they're trying to, and it's very loosey, I think they're trying to play on the ongoing feud between him and Neville.
Yeah, but they've kind of died that feud out in favor of him and R-Truth. It's like this feud sort of, like Wade Barrett, as much as I like Wade Barrett, he's just there. He's just there to make up the team's numbers, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. It's still going to be an awesome match.
He's like, I don't know, he's like you on the Lara Croft game. You're just there to make up the numbers so he can get some of the puzzles.
Wow.
You're welcome. But no, no, like I said, that just seemed weird. They've been billing this as Stardust versus Steve Amell, and that's cool. I wanted to see that one-on-one. Then they add Adrian Neville. I'm like, it makes sense because most of the Stardust stuff has been with Adrian Neville in matches all the time. Fair enough. Wade Barrett, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing there?
Well, he's got some bite, sorry.
Yeah. If anything, Triple H should have made sure the other person had like an actor or someone who's not quite used to wrestling with him.
They should have brought out the guy that plays Slade.
Arnold Schwarzenegger as the Terminator.
Yeah.
So now, boom, he's had a match this year.
Yeah, but I was just thinking of something like, okay, you want to get your hands on him, you can do it in this tag match. You'll team with Adrian Neville against Stardust. And we can't make this a handicap match, so we need someone to go out there who's probably going to be able to wrestle with you, Stephen Amell. That's when they should have brought back Brad Maddox in his normal Brad Maddox attire, or David Otunga or someone. You know what I mean? Or even though David Otunga has wrestling experience, but you know what I mean? Someone they're not using, or someone that you don't think when you think wrestler straight away now. Where Wade Barrett, he's on TV constantly, but this just seems like he's inserted randomly. It also seems like, wait, why would you make it worse for the guy that you're saying has no chance of doing this? No, we can't do that. We can't put you against Stardust. Why? You'll get hurt. So what we're going to do is we're going to put you against Stardust with Adrian Neville, yeah, and Wade Barrett. It's like, wait, so you put him against two wrestlers. It makes no sense.
One of which has a history of injuring people. Not on Ryback levels, but he has injured people.
He has.
It's like, great, good job, Triple H. You're so worried about injuring him. You're giving.
He has, but I will make the case he's injured like two people. It's not as much. It's not as bad. Every wrestler injures a couple of people, but it's not in the category of you're always injuring people.
And truth
Yeah,
be
I
told,
don't know.
rarely
Great
comes the
Khali
wasteland
killed
anymore.
one guy and you kept making fun of him.
I kept making fun of him for killing one guy, but I'll put you. Not every wrestler kills a guy.
Yep.
Hulk Hogan just kills his career with one word.
Pretty
Quick,
much.
Jim, say the word so we can show this video to your library.
No.
No. That was an N word, but not the one we had in mind.
All right, fine. You want me to do it? I'll say it. It was naggers. The word was
Thank you.
naggers.
Thank you.
I thought it was ninja.
Ninja. Believe it back to Rick.
I believe it is.
Mm-hmm.
Eye candy.
Right. So for my wow, for my match and promo of the week, didn't have a promo one. Wasn't really any good promos. No more bullshit. I don't know. For NXT. But my match was Bayley v Becky Lynch, because the NXT women's continue to put on really good matches, and that was a good solid match. Definitely was much better after I put it on mute partway through, because fucking Corey Graves and Sasha Banks circle jerking each other got rolled real fast. But after that was pretty entertaining. So. All right. So, does anyone have anything else to add before I close this out?
I will add that on 2K16, I'm going to put myself in a stable with Mark Henry, Bray Wyatt, and Kevin Owens. And I will call it Team Fat, but with a PH.
Nice.
We will even have T-shirts where it's spelt with a PH of no fat shaming.
There
If
you
you
go.
do that, and he's in the game, you have to be managed by Rikishi.
No, I'm okay. Unless he's in his head shrinkers one, not his dancing one.
Well, I
I
assume
like
if he's in the game, he'd be in his Rikishi gear, like his sumo gear.
Yeah, but I mean, like when he had like the head shrinker gimmick, I like that.
Ah.
Which was similar looking outfit, it just wasn't as over the top or gaudily with the initials.
Fair enough.
Does Richter like Team Fat?
Yes.
Thank you. No fat shaming.
No faction.
We'll come out and do a Nexus style beatdowns. The only difference between our style beatdown and the Nexus one is every now and again we'll stop and catch our breath.
Yeah. You need Bull Dempsey, dude.
I do. For our walk-ins.
Yes. They're coming
Beef
down the
further
ring
on the road.
slowly. Eat.
I do.
Hashtag eat beef mode.
Hashtag eat, sleep, repeat.
Eat, sleep, eat, repeat.
Eat, sleep, eat. sleep, eat, repeat. If I was a villain, I'd be Galactus.
All right, so there you go. Our thoughts on what happened in the previous week of wrestling. So,
And other shit.
yeah, and other shit. So, if you enjoyed it, please feel free to leave a comment below and let Mole know if you'd like to be, or let what was it? Diggler Daring. What was it?
Dastardly Diggler. Oh, Dastardly Digger.
Let Dastardly Digger know if you'd like to be a part of Team Fat. And
Dastardly Diggler.
So thank you everyone for joining us. And
because I'm a mole.
Yep. So thank you everyone for joining us. I hope to see you back next week for some more wrestling and some more who knows where it's going to go and where it's going to end up. So thank you very much and good night.